Wait, I need to put socks on. Hi everyone, welcome back to My Perspective. If you're new here, my name is Shelby and I'm so excited for you to be here. Why am I so nervous for today's episode? It's literally nothing crazy. Today we're going to be talking about 1 year post-grad, my thoughts on it, what I miss from college, what life after college is like. So if you're graduating, if you've been post-grad, I think this is the perfect episode for you because we're going to go over making friends, finding a job, hobbies, living alone, FOMO, the anxiety of post-grad, and what it's actually like versus what I thought it was going to be like. If you're new here, make sure that you're following the show wherever you listen and also subscribing on YouTube. I have been loving the YouTube platform. Let me know if you guys like it, if you've been going over to the YouTube, because I didn't even realize that people listen to podcasts visually. I only listen to it. I don't ever watch them. So I just thought everyone was like me, which I then to find out it's not true. The YouTube is linked in the description notes and also the Instagram. So make sure you're following the Instagram, My Perspective Pod. Also, if you know anyone who would enjoy this episode or the podcast, make sure to share it. That's the best way for people to find the podcast. Today I posted on the Instagram a Q&A. So if you missed it, you can just DM me and I'm eventually going to do a Q&A episode. Like obviously I've introduced myself. Segments as always. My updates of this week is I went to the doctor's finally for my joint pain and fatigue. I'm kind of frustrated. He was a very, very nice doctor, and he actually listened to me and spent quite a long time with me, which is very unusual, but I did feel like he didn't totally believe me. He diagnosed me with fibromyalgia, which is an autoimmune condition and like a neurological condition, I think. I'm not totally 100% sure if I actually do have that. It obviously is a step in the right direction, but there's no testing for fibromyalgia. There's no cure. So it's kind of, to me, it just seemed like he didn't really know what else to do with me. So he's like, you probably have this. But then he was like, in 40 years, you might have arthritis. And I tried to explain him, like, I don't want to go on medication. A diagnosis doesn't mean much to me. It just means that I can go and find the care I need with the root cause, the holistic practices to make it better. But because I don't know what's wrong with me, I keep trying all these wellness things, hoping that they are going to help, and they're not helping. So obviously I'm not doing what's right. There's such a gray area to know what to do with your own body. Like, for instance, one of my friends has been struggling with balancing her hormones, and then she went to a holistic doctor eventually, and she was doing a lot of things that she thought was benefiting her, but actually for specifically her wasn't the best. I realized, I'm like, oh my God, I could be doing all these things that are deemed as healthy, but for my specific whatever I'm struggling with is maybe like completely wrong. And obviously I have to give myself grace because I only know what I know and I'm doing my best as I can. If anyone struggles with like unexplained symptoms or an autoimmune condition, nobody really understands it unless them themselves have gone through it. Like when I tell people I'm tired, it's not like, oh, I just need a nap. I need to sleep 13 hours on the weekend. I can barely get through the workday. I almost fall asleep when I'm working out. I feel like I have COVID all the time, basically. And that's only if you got COVID really bad. I got COVID really bad. You couldn't touch me. My whole body ached. I slept all day, every day. I had like other issues, but that's how I feel with my fatigue. Like it feels like I'm just constantly sick and I'm not. My body's just tired. And obviously I have joint pain, which is horrendous. So he ran a bunch of tests. Obviously they all came back normal. I like emailed him asking to run more tests and he was just like, no, you should go see your primary doctor. And I'm like, can you give me a referral to an endocrinologist? And he's like, no. So I'm like, okay, so we're back to square one. Whatever. I took matters into my own hands and I signed up for Well Theory. Well Theory is basically like health coaching and a nutrition approach to autoimmune conditions specifically, or just a bunch of like those symptoms. I found it on TikTok actually, and the founder follows me. I mean, it's expensive, so I was like, okay, this is gonna be my last resort, but now I'm finally at my last straw. And they also told me that people start to feel better after 3 months. So I'm like, okay, I'll do this for 3 months. We'll see how it goes. If I don't start to feel better in 3 months, then I'll try something else, I guess. I'm kind of just like, whoa. Oh my God. My last update is Max and I booked our trip for Italy. I'm ecstatic. So we booked a trip to New York last year for off season, and he had to go to Arizona, so we had to cancel it. And so pretty much like I told him like our trip the year next needs to be like grand and make up for the trip that we didn't get to go on. And so we just booked our trip to Italy. I am so excited. I've never been to Italy, but I've been wanting to go back to Europe. I went to France 2 years ago. We're gonna be going to Florence and the Amalfi Coast. Italy is so romantic. It's like one of the #1 places to travel if you're gluten-free, so that's great for me. When I was in Japan, I had a hard time finding food. Yeah, so we only booked our flights. I still have to book our hotels, our Airbnbs, and then also our flight from Florence to the Amalfi, depending on how long we want to spend in each area. I mean, it's not for a really long time, but I'm excited to look forward to it, and I already saved for it like in the beginning of the year. That's it for updates. Oh wait, I want my matcha. Let's go into my obsession of this week. Oh, miso's coming. Come on. Good boy. Good boy. No, come closer. Okay, I don't know if I talked about this, but my obsession of this week is voice memos. I think everybody probably hates me because, voice memos are supposed to be more convenient. I don't really make it that convenient. I end up sending a 10-20 minute voice memo to my friends, but I really like it because I've been walking to work, so I'll just play my friends' voice memos as I'm walking, and then I respond as soon as I can. Oh my God, I totally forgot to text one of my friends. I'm one of the worst responders, so voice memos easier for me to send, but obviously texts are easier to send, if that makes sense. Like, whatever. Texts are easier to read, I meant. I really like voice memos because it feels like, 1, you're listening to your friend's podcast, or 2, you're on the phone with them, but you both can respond when it's most convenient to you. But then I saw a funny TikTok. It was like, you think voice memos are more convenient, and then your friend like forgets what she's talking about halfway through, and it's just a long pause for a minute. So I had to send it to my friend. I was like, this is me. I think voice memos are more convenient, but they're not. But it's just nice to actually hear your friend's voice because a lot of my friends don't live near me. So loving that at the moment. Okay, and then my dislike of this week is my skin. Guys, what the hell is going on? I need people to DM me. I need literally all the answers I can get. I know in the video you can't really tell because I packed on makeup. I'm so embarrassed of my skin. I just feel like at my wit's end with what my skin is just getting worse and worse every week. I don't know what else to do at this point. Like, I really want to go to the Clear Stem San Diego Acne Clinic because I'm trying to figure out my joint pain and my fatigue. I don't really also have the money to go be spending money on that. I think that'll be like a later issue. But seriously, I have not broken out this much, and I can't even a year, maybe, since the beginning of last year. I never break out on my forehead. My whole forehead is literally covered in acne. I usually only break out on my cheeks. And now it's all over my cheeks, it's all over my chin. And I've been listening to a lot of podcasts, and it's saying like your forehead is sugar, your cheeks are your lymphatic system or gluten, and then your chin and your jaw is like hormones and dairy. And it's like, yes, but it's still kind of like my autoimmune condition or my autoimmune symptoms of like, but what about me? What is different? Like, I can be doing all these things to help my acne, but I don't know what my specific acne is and what's triggering it and how to help it. I kind of just feel at a loss right now. And having acne is just hurts your self-confidence so much. I'm embarrassed to hang out with people, go out, and people see my skin. Like, I'm hanging out with my old like childhood best guy friend. I'm hanging out with his girlfriend. I'm hanging out with a girl I've never met before, and I put on so much makeup this morning. 1, because I'm filming the podcast, and 2, because I'm meeting this girl I've never met before, and I'm literally embarrassed of what I look like. It just sucks, and I don't understand how to fix it. And what sucks even more is I know that my makeup makes me break out more because I don't have acne-safe makeup, because makeup is so expensive. I recently got all new makeup last year before I knew about pore clogging ingredients, so I'm not going to throw away my 2 full Magnolia serum foundations. I actually might give it to like my friends who actually, me and Carrie have the same color foundation. I'm tan and she's white. I don't know how that works, but I'm going to ask her if she wants it. Every time I put this makeup on, I know it makes me break out, but I want to cover up my acne because I'm embarrassed about it, and it literally just sucks to have. And sometimes I'm like, I feel too old to have acne now. Like, I'm not in high school going through hormones. And then I also look back at photos and videos of myself when I was in high school and I was on birth control, and my skin was perfect. My skin was clear as glass and glowing. Obviously, birth control made me gain 40 pounds, but at least my skin was nice. And I get why people go on Accutane and spironolactone, because you're just at your last straw of figuring out what's wrong, and you just so badly want your acne to go away, because who doesn't, you know? That's where I'm at in my skincare journey. Struggling a lot with it and hoping that, like, I literally have a whole episode on clearing my acne, because my acne just goes through phases. Like, I don't just constantly have acne, but at this point, it's not like it usually it is. Like, I feel like this is full on, you can't even see it on camera. I don't really know what's going on, to be honest. That's the issue. Let's finally get into today's episode, because I have a lot to say. I literally can't believe that I graduated almost a year ago. Actually, not really. I finished classes in July, but I walked in June, and it's only April. Like, I technically would be 2 more months, but I know people are graduating early May, and so that's why I wanted to bring up this episode. And I've had people already message me about post-grad, and so I graduated a year early from all my friends. So my friends that are graduating just have questions about post-grad, finding a job, where to live, you know, all those big questions always come to me, which, like, makes sense. Like, I already have done it. It looks like I've got my life together, so it all makes sense. So I wanted to share, like, what I've shared with them for everybody else who is maybe going to go through this transition, or you are already post-grad and struggling with it, or just want to reminiscence a little bit, or feel like you're not alone, because it's not as easy as we all thought it was going to be. Can we first talk about making friends post-grad? Because I made an episode about getting ready for graduation, and boy, was I delusional. First off is I thought it was going to be so easy. I thought I just had to go to workout classes and, like, compliment the girl next to me. I didn't take into account the time it takes to build good, lasting friends. You're either an acquaintance or you're my best friend. That's because my best friends, they can come over, we can run errands, we can go to Pilates, they can just sit on my couch while we're both working, obviously hanging out. I don't have to plan something with them. They're just kind of there along for the ride, and we're so comfortable in each other's presence. We don't have to always be on. We don't have to always put on our best side of ourselves, because we know every side of each other. So we know when we just don't have the energy, but we still want to be in each other's presence. And that obviously doesn't just happen. That happens from hanging out with someone multiple times for hours on end. I didn't have as much time as I thought I would. I guess I'm more realizing this because I'm almost a year, and my sister always told me, like, give yourself a year to settle into where you live. And, like, I still have 2 months. To me, it's like, oh shit, what am I going to do? Or, like, what am I doing? So I've met literally the best people ever here. The number one thing that I did was put myself out there and not be afraid to be the first one to reach out. Literally went on Instagram and looked up Newport Club, any club or girl group that I could find. I joined and I followed, and I actually tried to attend the events. Because if you think about it, those are all other people who've probably just moved here or looking for more friends, and we're all in the same situation. I have met so many people from also social media, surprising enough. If I notice someone on TikTok or on Instagram that looks like they're from nearby, I'll DM them. I have no shame. I'm like, oh, also, what I love about social media is you already see everything about them, so you already know if you're going to like them or mesh with them. I mean, it also, with putting myself out there on social media, and say, like, someone then finds my social media, they're like, oh, a part of me feels the rejection, because I'm like, oh, they probably just watched everything that I post and decided that we wouldn't work out. In the moment, that hurts, and that's the rejection. But also, I know that they're just not the friend for me. And I guess it's easier to find out sooner than later because you're not putting all this time and energy into that friendship. So I guess there's a bright side to that. So the clubs, I'll tell you about the clubs I joined. I joined one that's a walk club, and they meet every week or so, and then they also do workout classes. I actually didn't meet anyone there, but it was a good activity for someone I did meet through TikTok. I was like, oh, would you want to go to this with me? And then I ran into someone I used to work with. Another one was a run club that met weekly in the summer, which honestly was probably my favorite one. That one, I actually met one girl who introduced me to her friends who I really liked, and I'm not even a big runner, but I just made it a point to try to go every single week. When you commit to something, you constantly are showing up. That's when people are going to recognize you, ask to go get coffee, and try to be your friend, because you're constantly seeing them week after week. And then also, what I really like about these clubs is you're going to something where there's like-minded people. So if it's not a workout class, obviously mine was a walk and a run club. Maybe it's not necessarily a club, but more of a pottery or art or something like that. I definitely thought that when I was moving, I'll just join all these things and meet people. And even though I didn't meet anyone from the walk club, at least I put myself out there. That was the best opportunity for me to meet people, if that makes sense. I also joined a book club. I really love seeing them once a month and reading the books and talking about the books. They're all such great women. I went to a Pilates event and I met someone that we clicked really well. Okay, so I went to this Pilates event and I actually knew a ton of people. And that was because I kept putting myself out there to meet these people. And if I wasn't going to the run club, the walk club, or just putting myself out there to where I'd meet more people who are around my age and like the things I like to do, then I would have got to that event and knew no one. And then I also met someone I really liked because we had similar interests. And also with meeting people, I think it's okay to be the first one to reach out. I think everyone's really nervous to be the first one to follow each other, the first one to ask what you're doing that weekend. I think once you actually do it, you realize that everybody is in the same boat. It's okay to outgrow people, to be making more friends. Maybe you've always lived in this city. It's okay to outgrow your friends you had from high school, or I don't even know. It's okay to want to go make new friends. That is the beauty of starting a new chapter of your life. That's the beauty of post-grad, was I'm in this new chapter, and I think that was what I was looking forward to after college. I was looking forward to meeting people that were more in their career, meeting women, if that makes sense, not girls going to a frat party. I'm not judging them, that was the stage they were in their life, but I was ready to move on, and I was ready to not be in a college-centric area. After college too, you grow so much as a person. Your life completely changes. I was shocked about how much life was different. I think that's why if you're trying to make new friends, it's okay. It's okay that your friends from college, your friends from high school, and your friends after college are not similar. It's because you are changing as a person too. I think something that's also super important was community is so important. It's more important than your job. It's more important than how much money you're making. When I was sending a voice memo to one of my friends, and I was like, in this time of my life, I have been working so much and putting so much time. Oh my God, I wish you guys could see me so right now. Because the 1 year mark was coming up on me graduating, I realized that I have been working 70-hour weeks. I have been putting so much time into my podcast and my social media that I was putting more time into that than my social life. And when I was getting my second job, he even realized, because he said, what's my worst quality? And I said, I burned myself out. And he was like, well, do you mean that in work-wise? And I was like, no, I think in my social life, that's where it becomes a downfall, because I focus on everything else more than my social life. What my friend was trying to tell me was your 20s is for finding your people. Because if I'm working so hard and by the time I'm 30 I'm successful, but I don't have any friends around me, like, what was the point? Because community is the one thing that uplifts your day, that keeps you going. I think community is more important than making money and having a successful career, because when you're around the people that truly understand you and value you, there's nothing that beats that. Let's talk about your job. How to find a job. I never saw myself in corporate America until my junior year of college, when my sorority started posting what everybody's doing post-grad and how common it was for people to go work at these big companies, to go work a desk job. I didn't know a job where I wouldn't have to work at a desk. I kind of got frantic when graduation was coming up looking for any internship. I didn't care the industry. I just was looking for an internship or a job so I could be set, because everybody else was doing that. And I ended up finding a corporate internship, and I hated it. Okay, I didn't hate it. I liked my coworkers. The company was cool. I liked my first boss. I didn't like sitting in a desk all day. I got really tired. I got very distracted. I knew there was more to life than working at a desk. I'm also 21, so I only have so much to say. But once my internship ended, I was like, okay, I need to obviously find a job. I met with a lot of people to help me find a job, and they gave me the best advice. Someone who got me my current job. Someone told me, she basically told me, like, your 20s is when you're supposed to be the most poor in your life. I don't know if that makes sense. Like, our perception of money, I think, is so skewed by social media. I'm so at fault for that, because I always feel like I'm behind. I always feel like I'm not making enough money. And that's because of social media. It's because I'm seeing people my age traveling the world, having these huge brand partnerships. But that's not a lot of people. That's the select few that are doing that. But the best advice I got when I was graduating was to take the job that pays you minimum wage. Take that desk job if it's going to open up your network. She is a part owner of a very popular gym in Costa Mesa, and she told me, like, we can hire you as a front desk, and our front desk always gets poached by our clients. Always someone is telling you, like, you have to work at my company, come work at my company, and they always tell them to take that job because they want them to succeed in life. And obviously, if I have a degree, I'm obviously way more qualified than a front desk. I know that. I didn't take the job. She found me someone who was looking for an employee to run their entire social media, which I currently do. But if you're having a hard time finding a job after college and you're applying to everything, you're reaching out to your network to, if anyone knows anyone, it's okay to take that job that's building your network, but maybe it's not paying you as much, or maybe it's just a minimum wage job, because ultimately it's going to bring you that career. Going along with that is having a job that pays your bills, that puts the lights on, but then having a job that actually is fueling either your resume, your future career, or your passions. Also normalize that a lot of people have to work 2 jobs post-grad because entry-level jobs don't pay a lot of money, which I did not realize. So I found my part-time job, which that lady got me, and I run an entire social media account for a physical therapist. Basically, like, that's the second job that's building my resume, building the skills I actually need to have in the future. I don't know if this is making sense. Basically, like, one of my friends came up to me and she's like all stressed about not having a job post-grad and paying for rent and stuff. And I told her, like, find a job that pays your rent. Maybe go be a server until you can find that full-time job, and then just have that be a server for your, like, side hustle, because you make so much money as a server. And then find a job that is actually what you want to do in life. Like, go find a job where you're doing PR for a small company in order for that to eventually become your full-time job. Or have a full-time job and then start your side hustle on the side. So your side hustle, you're not depending on it to make you money. You're doing it because you love it and you eventually want it to be your job, but you still have something that you're doing 9 to 5, making all the money. It's okay if you're not making the amount of money at your job that you thought you were going to be. I think so many people are in that place. But know that if the career that you love and you know that you will make that money that you want to make, you just have to accept that and believe that it will come and that you have the skills. Just be the best employee that you can. do your job the most that you can at the best of the ability you can. Build or have the other job on the side to help you out. I don't know if that's even good advice. I just look back to all the conversations I've had with my friends thinking of how much money they were all going to make. Like, people were telling me, oh, I'm going to make $90K, or I'm going to make 6 figures. I'm going to make 70, you know, like they all had these numbers and none of them are making that much. Nobody I know is making that much money right out of college if they're just a normal person, not a STEM major. And that's fine. I don't know why we all had this pressure on ourselves that we're gonna make this crazy amount of money. And that's why so many people live at home, because it is so expensive. Okay, let's talk about hobbies. I think having hobbies is so important because college is very surrounded around events, around parties, around being in a sorority or some type of club. And then you graduate and your life is about work. So what else do you do? Some of my favorite hobbies is coloring. I haven't colored in so long, actually. I really want to get back into it. And I literally color from a coloring book. I'm not like actually drawing or doing anything crazy. I just have my pens that Max's parents gave me and a coloring book I found on Amazon, and I just like to color one page. It was actually cute. Max and I used to do this all the time on dates. Next is pickleball. I'm trying to play pickleball with my coworkers once a week. I love playing pickleball. I'm not good, but I love doing it. And I think that's the point of hobbies. The point of hobbies is it's not going to make you money. It's just something you enjoy doing and fills you up. It doesn't have to be productive. It's just something for fun. So that's why I love pickleball. It's connecting with other people, it's moving your body, and it's fun. Next one is workout classes. I consider workout classes one of my hobbies. I love to work out. I try to work out every day. I didn't go to work out this morning because I got home really late and I was so tired. Moving your body, great for your mental health, great for your body. You can meet people. Obviously, I'm not making money from that, but I just enjoy doing it. Some hobbies. Oh, also reading. I love to read. I try to read every single night. It's just it's like a movie in my head. I don't know if anyone else experiences that, but that's how I read, is I am envisioning it as it's happening. But some hobbies I want to get into is something creative, so pottery or painting. I have to purchase that as a class, so I think that's a goal for mine. And you have to do it every week for like 6 weeks. So I definitely eventually want to do that, but I haven't put down the money yet. Next is gymnastics. So I was a competitive gymnast for 10 years, and I know there's adult classes somewhere in Orange County. I know there is, and I really, really want to do it. There was adult gymnastics when I was a coach up in SLO, but I want an adult gymnastics class where they actually are teaching me skills and their structure. I want to be a gymnast again. I think it'd be so fun. I think it'd be so healing for my younger self. And I just know that I would feel so proud of myself, overcoming fears, physically seeing what my body can still do. And also, I want to learn skills I've never learned before. So it'd be really interesting to see if I could do that. And then lastly, surfing. I've surfed since I was a little kid. I also suck at surfing, but that's fine. It's just a hobby, but I never surf anymore. I don't know. I just have this mental block of it's so much work to get out there, and I live 5 minutes from the beach. I know that. I just need to get over this mindset that it's so much work, because it's not. I just need to go do it. Also, I think hobbies just make you a more interesting person when you're meeting people, when you're more well-rounded. And also do hobbies with someone. This is a great opportunity for you to try to make friends and be like, hey, let's go take a pottery class together, or let's go surfing. That's so much fun. When I go meet a new friend, I go on a walk. I'm literally going on a walk today I already told you guys. It's just so easy for me to be like, oh, I'm gonna bring miso and then we're gonna go on a walk. The best thing I ever did for myself was live alone. I just listened to a whole episode about living alone, but it was more geared towards you're nervous about living alone. Are you ready to live alone? And I love it so much. I am literally at peace with myself. If I could live alone until I got married, I would 100% do it. I cannot afford to live alone anymore, so I am in the hunt for a roommate and an apartment in the summer. I don't want to leave this place. I love it so, so much. My apartment is so cute and little and is perfect for me. I'm just mourning having to leave this place soon. It's my first apartment since graduating. I just love coming home in the house being the exact way I left it and it being completely silent. It's literally my favorite. Like, I just can't imagine living with someone again. I know I'm gonna have to do it. I don't want to live with anyone. There's literally no con to living alone besides how much it costs. I would live alone. So I definitely had FOMO from leaving college, mainly because all my friends were still in college because I left a year early. I seriously was thinking like, oh my God, did I not drink enough in college? I don't have those crazy memories. I didn't have a massive, I had a pretty massive friend group freshman year, but I didn't have a massive friend group all of college. And I had so much, I think back to college and I'm like, wow, I had so much time. And I think that's I got a lot of doubts after graduating if I did the right thing, because I was thinking of all these positives of still being in college, and I had to remind myself that when I was there, I wanted anything to get out. I had my reasons, and I think I made the right choice. Like, we'll talk about my experience after graduating, but I always think if I made the wrong choice, and I definitely don't think I did. It's just I had a lot of FOMO from not being there and not having the time to do whatever the hell I want. I think that's the biggest difference I noticed was after graduating, I work and my time is spread so thin. In college, I had the most abundance of time. I barely worked. I barely went to school. I literally got to do whatever I wanted. I can't even think about doing that now. I don't think I would take back graduating early. I think I just would appreciate when I was in college more if I went back. There's so much anxiety at post-grad. I know so many people are either really, really loved college, or you just have no idea what the hell you're doing post-grad and it's nothing like you thought it was. I had a lot of anxiety from my career and from money standpoint, wishing I was saving money, wishing I could have lived with my parents, or just anxiety of like, oh, I don't have a friend group yet. And I think that's all so normal, and I know that it does get better. It's going to get better. It's just so different. It's finally a time where we don't have professors telling us what to do. We don't have somewhere we need to be all the time besides obviously work. There's nobody really looking after you. You're kind of more on your own. College is literally fake. Let's wrap up this episode and go into my thoughts after college. I wish I enjoyed it more. I wish that I had gone to more school events, worked a job where I was around other college students more. I also was in college during 2020. Like, that was my freshman year, so I think I didn't get the normal freshman experience, and that really impacted my entire college experience. I also had a long distance boyfriend, which I've talked about before, which does impact your college experience. I also just struggled so much with my mental health in college that I really didn't see a point in doing all those things, and I really was so excited to get the hell out of there. And granted, that's just where I was in college. But if I'm giving advice to people still in college, go do all the college activities. Go just enjoy the time where you're at, because it's a time where you can be a kid and not worry about the real world. I know you're so excited to move alone, to move to a new city, to start that new job, but once you do it, you never can go back. College is 4 years where you are a fake adult. I say this all the time because for the majority of people, your parents are paying for your college and they're paying for your lifestyle, and you literally just have to worry about school and all the fun social activities of it. Obviously, there's people who have to pay for their own college and have to work, and that's a different story, but I'm talking about the people who don't have to do that. I don't think college prepares us for the real world at all. I think college is about making connections, meeting as many people as you can, connecting with the professors, building your network for finding that future job, or just growing up away from your parents, learning to cook for yourself, learning to do your laundry, learning to pay your rent on time and pay the utilities, finding your first job, living just away from your helicopter parent and actually becoming yourself. College is about finding out who you are. What do you actually like to wear? What music do you like to listen to? What type of people do you want to hang out with? Do you like to drink? Do you not like to drink? What is a part-time job that you actually enjoy? There's so many nuances to college, and I think that a lot of people say, like, don't go to college nowadays. You don't need a degree. I don't think the degree, it's about the degree anymore. I think college is, and yes, it's very expensive to college. I get that. But the reality of it is a lot of people, if you're not paying for your own college, I think you should go. I think you should go and take advantage of that 4 years where you get to be a kid before the real world smacks you in the face. Everyone gives grace to the college kid. Nobody gives grace to the post-college kid. They treat you like a real adult at that point. You're there to make friends. You're there to build the connections for the rest of your life. You're there to join the club you've always wanted to join, try that activity you've never got to try, travel, start working out, start using the school gym, do the horseback riding class, join an intramural sport, like literally do everything you can think of that you've always wanted to do while you're in college, because you'll never have more time than that. If I could re-experience college, I would join a sorority my freshman year. Even though it was so stupid, I would still join a sorority. Would I join a sorority? I don't know. I didn't really like it. If I was in college again, I would have joined a sport. I almost did, but I got a dog instead. I would have done like a club sport. I would have definitely taken the art classes, other sport classes. Like I did weightlifting and pickleball, which were my absolute favorite, but I wish I did. They have like a surfboard making class. They have a pottery class. I would have taken more psych classes. I just like would have done the most, you know? I would have explored the area more. I think I hated partying. I really did. But I think I would have pushed myself to party sober more. I don't really know. I don't know if I would have. I guess like maybe put myself out there more to make more friends. I love the friends I made in college. Like honestly, looking back, college was great. I'm so happy. However, I absolutely love the life I'm living now. I love where I live. I love my jobs. I love the people I've met, and I'm so grateful to be living alone and by the beach. Like, that's actually insane. I think my life has evolved so much. I've had 2 people from college reach out to me this week, which is just so random. I don't know. I feel like I've surrounded myself with such amazing, cool people. They're so mature. They're in their careers, and this is everything I wanted. And I feel so at peace. I feel at peace with where I live, with the relationships I do have. I do feel more confident in myself. As insecure as I am in myself, I do feel more okay with who I am than I did in college. In college, I felt so odd. I didn't feel normal because I didn't love the partying. I felt like I didn't fit the mold of a normal college student. And I do feel like I'm thriving in my 20s post-grad because it's so much more me. And I had been waiting for this moment for so long. Some positives is like I don't feel pressure to go out to the bars every weekend. I don't have friendship drama. Like I felt like college was a more relaxed version of high school where everyone's on their own, but there's no friendship drama like high school. There's people are more who they are and more confident in who they are and who they're becoming and what they're doing in their life. And I really, really appreciate that. If you're nervous for post-grad or you are post-grad, like I think it gets better. I think it's just such an exciting time in your life. You just have to experience it all with an open mind and say yes to as many things as you can. And it's really all going to work out for the best, especially if you're struggling with like finding a job or finding friends. Like I think it will happen. You just have to let it come and not rush it. Let everything play out the way it's supposed to. That is all I have for you guys. I know there was a lot said in that. I hope you guys liked the episode. If you liked it, make sure you follow the show, subscribe on YouTube, and share it with someone else who would like it. Make sure you follow the Instagram. And also, I always say this, but DM me if you have any, or like leave a comment or DM me if you have any episode recommendations. I keep like blinking out and then I just record something on the whim. But if there's something specific you want me to talk about, let me know. I hope you guys have a great rest of your week, and I'll talk to you guys next week. Bye. Love you. Miso looks really cute right now.